Hi guys, how are you this gorgeous day? Wherever you are, I hope that you are happy, healthy and well. Here I am with a beautiful backdrop behind me on the Sunshine Coast, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about emotional eating. This is something that is a very human tendency. It's a very, I guess, tender topic for a lot of people. I might say women a lot during this video, and if I do that, I don't mean that it's just women that emotionally eat, because it's not. But in my experience, and I've been working now with clients for 10 years, I do find that women maybe not necessarily have so much more of an issue with it, but they really beat themselves up a lot more than any sex I know about actually doing it. So if I do say women, excuse me, and I know that it's not just women that do it. And I know there's plenty of women who have no issue with emotional eating at all. So what I really want to talk to you about today is the fact that emotional eating is real, and it doesn't make you a bad person. If you emotionally eat, you are doing what you know best. Human behavior boils down always to us doing what we know and how we know best to deal with things. It doesn't make human behavior always right. It doesn't always make it acceptable. But unfortunately or fortunately, we do what we do for very good reason. And if that's just because that's all we know, or that's what we've been taught, that's what we've seen, that's what we've learned, then that's the way it is. When it comes to emotional eating, the first thing I'd love to say to you is, as I said, you're not a bad person. So stop with the beating yourself up. What I'd love to suggest that you try is to come from the perspective of being an understanding friend and just go, okay, if you had a friend in this situation and they were beating themselves up and they were giving themselves a hard time, what would you say to them? You would probably say, hey, beating yourself up isn't going to help the situation. You're not a bad person. You just overate a little, and that's completely normal. So when it's you, remind yourself that you're only doing what you know, and that it's okay. It's okay. What I would also suggest is it's not about not having emotions. Emotions are a beautiful part of being a human being. So if we think that switching off, positive thinking ourselves out of emotional states, or drowning ourselves or distracting ourselves is going to work, it's not going to work in the long term. A really effective way of dealing with our emotions is actually to embrace them, to actually go, okay, accept how you feel. I feel this way. I'm feeling stressed, or I'm feeling scared, or I'm feeling lonely, or actually I don't know what I'm feeling. What am I feeling? And taking the time to work that out like you would with a friend. How are you feeling? Talk to me. What's going on? You may do that through journaling. You may do that through reflection. You may do it during your meditation. But all I'm saying is create that space and allowance and acceptance for your emotions, because what you resist persists. So the more that you try and fight, deny, battle how you're feeling, the more you're going to feel like that, the longer you're going to feel like that. And this is what I see happen a lot with people going through depression or anxiety, is that resistance and that trying to fight how they're feeling. So embrace it, accept it, and listen. Listen to the emotion. What's the message for me here? What have I got to learn? A really good question I've probably shared with you before is, what do I need? I ask myself that question sometimes when I'm feeling lost, or I'm feeling tired, or I'm feeling emotional, or I say, Bridge, what do you need? Because that's what I'd say to my friend. What do you need? Sometimes the answer might just be, I need a glass of water. Sometimes it might be, I need to lay down and just chill out. I need to actually cancel my day today and look after myself. Okay, ask yourself, what do you need? Like you would a friend. Say, hun or mate, what's going on? How can I help? What do you need? The reason I'm not talking about a whole lot of strategies for how to overcome emotional eating or avoid emotional eating is because the eating is actually just down the chain. It's the symptom. It's the effect. It's not the cause. And for me, I'm really interested in permanent, effective change. So when I work with people, I always like to look at the cause. What is the cause of our feeling so emotional that we need to comfort ourselves? That's all emotional eating is. It's just an attempt for us to comfort ourselves, and it's completely normal and natural. When we were babies and we cried, what happened? 9 times out of 10, we got given food. So we associate food and that nurturing. We're normally held when we get fed, yes? So nurturing, love, comfort, reassurance is associated so highly with food for that reason of how we were brought up as babies. So it's completely normal, it's completely natural. It doesn't make you a bad person. I'm not going to be able to say that enough. It doesn't make you a bad person. And so what is a better strategy though is not the whole, all the strategies for avoiding emotional eating and, don't buy this and rah, 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 because they're all physical, external ways of controlling yourself. What I prefer is to bring the power back inside of ourselves. With every situation I have with a client, the more we can bring the power back within ourselves, that we are feeling calm, peaceful, present, that personal power within ourselves, the more we feel that, the more energy we have, the more our life flows, the more clarity we have, the less heaviness, depression, anxiety, stress. Things are more like water off a duck's back, no matter what the situation is. So what I say to you here is emotions are a normal part of being human, and they're a beautiful part of being human. And it's not about trying to control them or change them. It's about listening to them and taking the learnings and taking the messages. So in effect, the way around emotional eating is actually all about learning how to be your own best friend. It's actually about learning how to soothe yourself, how to hear your emotions, how to feel your emotions, how to allow them. By putting in that pause between emotion, food, because often it's so close together and it's just like that stimulus response. So all we're doing is creating a space, and we're creating a pause, which is, hang on a second, what am I feeling? Okay, right, why am I feeling that way? And it's also creating some understanding. Oh, okay, yes, I understand that you would feel that way. We don't often do this with ourselves. We do with a friend. We'll be like, yes, I understand why you're feeling like that. But with ourselves, we're beating ourselves up because we shouldn't be feeling like that. So I want you to be able to create that space and learn how to be your own best friend. Have that conversation on the couch with a cuppa, or however you do with your girlfriend, with yourself. Create that space. Ask yourself, how am I feeling? Why? What do you need? Ask yourself what you need. If you can create that gap and that space, and you can do that exercise consistently, I am confident that with practice and patience, emotional eating one day will be something you look back on and go, wow, I used to do that. And you'll still have your moments, because you are human, and we're always going to have human moments. Just last night I did some emotional eating. Whoa, confessional. But I forgive myself for that. It's okay. It was all I knew to do to comfort myself at that moment. I've reflected on it this morning, and perhaps I'll deal with it another way next time. I definitely eat less emotionally these days because I have allowed myself to be human. I've allowed emotions, full stop, because I never used to want to feel anything other than maybe positive. And I've learned to understand myself. As you learn to understand yourself, as you learn to have that patience, kindness, understanding, and compassion for yourself, everything else on the outside disappears. The work is never outside. It's never about managing or controlling. It's always about the inner work. Always about learning to understand, love, and care for yourself. And that's all I have to say today. If you have any more questions about emotional eating, please be in touch, guys. It's Bridget at newleafnutrition.com.au. And I'll see you next time. Bye.